Everyone, students, and how are you doing? I hope and trust that you've all been well rested and are ready for our language arts lesson. So in my background photo, I have a lovely bird. It's quite colorful. Do you happen to know the name of this bird? Okay then, actually it is a toucan. It's called a toucan, Toucan, toucan. If you got it right, very good job. Right, so this is a toucan and this bird is quite small, but then it has a big beak. Yes, its beak or its bill, it's quite large compared to its body size. And fun fact for you about a toucan, they actually have the longest beak or bill in the world amongst all other birds. Yes, that's the fact about toucans for you. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of February in the year 2021, and we are going to have language arts. First up, let's look at our word of the week. The word of the week is my. My says my. And generally when you hear the word my, it would be at the beginning of this sentence. You would normally say, my name is, and then you give your name, all right? So yes, this is the word my here. It has a capital M, and here it was a common M. But I have a capital letter here because it's starting off a sentence. So your word of the week is my. Let's read some sentences with the word my in them. Let's go. It says, my shoes are red and white. My shoes are red and white. Do you see the red and white shoes? Very good. And what game do you think he's playing? He looks like he is playing hopscotch. Yeah, you're so smart. Keep up the good work. Now let's look at another sentence with the word my in it. Let's give this one a go. I go, which was the word of the week for last week, shopping with my mom. I go shopping with my mom. Do you go shopping with your mom? Okay, all right then. So remember to practice spelling the word of the week, my, and when you're reading any of your passages, try to spot the word my in your readings. Now let's move on to phonics, and here I have another lovely toucan bird. As you can see, this one has a different color body as well as beak. So yes, they come in a variety of colors. So let's go to phonics. And for phonics, we have been looking at OA, and we said that the letters O and A, which are vowels by the way, the vowels are A, E, I, O, U, but the letters O and A, they are married, and now they make one sound. And what's the one sound that they make? They say oh. Right, now let's sing along to the O jingle. Oh, did you see the billy goat? Oh, 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 oh. Did you see the billy goat under the old oak tree? Oh, so OA says oh. Let's practice calling some words that have in the OA blend. So this word here, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Remember, O and A come together to make one sound here. Now let's call the first sound. The first sound would be F. Letter F says F. Second letter here is L. What sound does the L make? L. Together, F and L would give us fl, fl. And then OA says O. So 3 sounds together, we will have flow, flow. And the final sound, t, t. Letter T says t. All together, what do we have? Float, float. The word is float. Can you float? So here I have a photo of some people floating in their tubes in the sea. Some people use their tubes to float. Other people just simply relax in the water and float without a tube. Next word. This first letter is L. What sound does the L make? L says L. L says L. The second sound is O. O and A say O. All together, let's put these 2 sounds together. L, O. And the final letter is D. Letter D says D. So let's put all sounds together. We have L, O, D. Load. The word is load. L-O-A-D, load. This ship is carrying a lot of load. I think this load seems quite heavy. And where is the ship? Is it on land or is it on water? It's on water. And how is it staying up like that? It's floating on the water. Yes, and it would have an engine and it would be spinning. The motor, the propeller would be spinning and keeping it afloat. So the ship is floating on water and carrying its load. Now, here I have for you another pair of letters that come together to make one sound. OA, we know, says O. And here I have an equal sign to this O and W. So that is what do you think Miss is trying to say here? If she put an equal sign here, that they have the same sound. They have the same sound. So O and A says O, and OW also says O. So they both make the same sound. They give us the long O sound saying O. Now let's look at some words that have OW in them making the O sound. First word, we have the first letter here, L. Letter L says L. And then we have OW. OW also says O. OW says O. So let's go. L, O, low, low. My battery is low. Yes, that is the word low. Or you can bend down really low on the table and say, oh, I am quite low down here. I'm low under the table. I'm hiding under the low table. So most of the time you would hear people say, sorry about that their battery is low and they need to charge their device. All right, so that was the word low. Next up, we have this word. It starts with OW, and OW gives us the O sound. So we have the first sound would be O, and then the next letter here is N, and letter N says N. So together we have own, own, own. He owns these toys. So when you own something, it means that they belong to you. So he owns this drum, he owns these toys. And for example, I own my computer, the computer that I'm using right now. It belongs to me, so I own it. And the toys that you have, you own them, they belong to you. So that is the word own. Next up, we have this word. The first letter in this word is M. And M says M says And the second sound is O. Together, what would they say? O, mo, mo. What is mo? This boy is mowing the lawn. He's using this machine called a lawnmower to mow the lawn. What do you think the word mow means? Okay, right. So when you mow the lawn, it basically means that you're cutting the grass. You're cutting the lawn. So this is a lawnmower and he's using it to cut the grass. Okay, there's a blade underneath it. It spins and it cuts the grass so the grass isn't as high anymore. So you see, you're not too small to help out to mow the lawn. The next word, let's go. The first sound is S. Letter S says S. The second sound is L. Together, S and L are going to say sl, sl. And then the final sound is O. Now all together, what will we have? Sl, O, slow, slow. This word is slow. This is a snail. Do snails move fast or slow? They move quite slowly. Yes, they move slowly. Look at how slowly this snail is moving. And do you see the snail leaving behind a trail? You see the trail starting off here? And yes, the snail is moving slowly. This is the word slow. Are you faster than a snail? All right, now let's look at this word. First sound, s. First sound, s. Second sound, mm. Letter N says mm. Together, what do we have here? Mm. Sn. And the final sound is O. So all together, what are we gonna have? We have sn. Oh, snow. Snow. Have you ever seen snow before? Now here I have a video for you of snow falling. Look at the snow outside of this window. Everywhere is covered in snow. Yes, I'll play it again for you. Everywhere outside is covered in snow and the snow is falling from the sky. So there you have it, snow. Now our final word, first sound, B. This is letter B. Letter B says B. Second sound, L. Second sound, L. And together we have bl, bl. And the final sound is O. Final sound, O. All together, what will we have? Bl, O, blow, blow. Blow, wind, blow. The wind is blowing quite strong in this photo. So yes, that word is blow. That would be the end of the words that we're looking at for phonics. Now you're going to read. I have a poem for you. And we read this poem before, but I added another verse to the poem. So remember that it goes to the tune of Ba Ba Black Sheep. And let's go through this one together. So you would say O-A. So O-A, have you any sound? Yes, sir, I say O. O for and O for and O-A, have you any sound? Yes, sir, long O sound. So you're supposed to be able to call these words that have it O-A that say O in them. So you can pause the video here and give this verse of the poem a try by yourself. And then you would do this one. So it's the same tune, but this time you will be saying O-W and you will be calling some O-W words. Okay, so pause the video and give the poem a tune. Give the poem a try to the Baba Black Sheep tune. Now let's move on to composition. For composition, we've been looking at sentences. Do you remember what is a sentence? Could you tell me that please before I move on to the next slide? A sentence is a great job. A sentence is a group of words that make complete sense. And here is a sentence checklist for you. When you're writing your sentence, you should ensure that it starts with a capital letter. Your words have finger spaces, so there's spaces between your words. That your sentences end with a full stop or a question mark. Depending on if it's a telling sentence or an asking sentence, you should make sure that your handwriting looks neat and straight, and of course that your sentence makes sense. So keep this checklist in mind whenever you are writing a sentence. So let's look at telling sentences. A telling sentence tells us about something. A telling sentence ends in a full stop. So a telling sentence tells and it ends in a full stop. Let's look at these examples of telling sentences. Here we go. What animal is this? It's a toad. Toads have bumpy skin while frogs have smooth skin, and frogs would be slimy while toads are bumpy and dry. So can you read this sentence all by yourself? Alright, this is an OA word and we know that OA says oh, great job. So yes, this is a telling sentence. What is a telling sentence telling us about? It's telling us about what we see. And what do we see? We see a toad. Great job. Next sentence says the cat eats bread. And what is the sentence telling us about? It is telling us about the cat and it's telling us about what the cat eating. The cat is eating bread. Right, it's a telling sentence, and we see that it ends in a full stop. That tells us it's a telling sentence, and it also begins with a capital letter. All sentences should begin with a capital letter. Next sentence. The word of the week. What's the word of the week? It's my. My is my. My. And you're supposed to be able to blend this word. This is letter D. Letter D says d. D. A. D. Dad. My dad. OW says O. First sound here. M. O. Z. Mows. So my dad mows the grass. My dad mows the grass. Right. So this sentence is telling us about my dad, what my dad is doing. It's a telling sentence. It ends in a full stop. We have a capital letter and it has spaces between, and it makes sense. So yes, it's a complete sentence. Now let's move on to asking sentences. An asking sentence is a question. An asking sentence is a question, and an asking sentence ends in a question mark. It ends in a question mark. Now let's look at these asking sentences. Is it raining? Raining. Is it raining? Your mommy might ask you to look outside and say, is it raining? Have some clothes on the line. Is it raining? Sorry, I forgot to focus on the question mark. Do you see the question mark here? Right. And it's still a sentence, so it must begin with a capital letter. Let's look at this one. It says, where is the train? Where is the train? An asking sentence is a question. And here I have my capital letter and it ends in a question mark, which tells me it's an asking sentence. Where is the train? The lady's probably also wondering, why is the train taking so long? Next and final question. Here we go. It says, can you help me tie, the word of the week, my shoe? Can you help me tie my shoe? Is this an asking sentence or a telling sentence? It's an asking sentence. It ends in a question mark. It's asking a question. Can you help me tie my shoe? Would you be willing to help him tie his shoe? Thank you so much for being willing to help him. Now let's try it together. Together we are going to look at these sentences and we're going to decide if they're asking or telling sentences, if to put the question mark at the ending or a full stop. Okay, so here we go. This says, what is the time? What is the time? Should we put a full stop at the end of it, or should we put a question mark at the end of it? Is it asking a question or is it telling us something? It's asking a question, so therefore we should end it in a question mark. It should read like this. What is the time? Ending in a question mark. Yes, great job. Next up, this one says, can I go to the beach? Miss forgot a word there. It's supposed to say, can I go to the beach? Now, is this an asking sentence or a telling sentence? It's asking something, right? So it should end in a question mark. Can I go to the beach? Yes, you can. Now let's look at this one. It says, I am happy. I am happy. Is this asking something or telling us something? It's telling us something, so that means it should end in a full stop, right? It's supposed to end in a full stop. So it says, I am happy, and it's a telling sentence, so it ends in a full stop. Next up, this one says, she is playing. What is she doing? She is playing. Is this asking something or telling something? She is playing. It is telling us something. So that means it should end in a full stop. It's supposed to end in a full stop because it's a telling sentence. She is playing. Next up, we are baking cupcakes. We are baking cupcakes. Is this an asking sentence or a telling sentence? It's telling us something, so it's supposed to end in a full stop. We are baking cupcakes. Great job. Now the final one, it says, would you like a cupcake? Is this asking us something or telling us something? It says, would you like a cupcake? So it's a asking sentence. So you're supposed to end in a question mark. Would you like a cupcake? Would you like one? All right. Now it's your turn. You're going to practice. I would like for you to turn to page 54 in your language 3 workbook, and you're going to do exercises 1 and 2. That's both exercises on page 54. Now let's move on to word study. And in word study, we've been looking at alphabetical order. We've been looking at alphabetical order. And here is the alphabet for you using only capital letters. Let's give the alphabet a go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABC. Next time, won't you sing with me? Great job. So this was all capital letters, and this one is all common letters. So you can pause the video and give your ABCs a go using the common letters or the lowercase letters. So alphabetical order is a way to sort a list. Alphabetical order is a way to sort a list. It is done by following the usual order of the letters in the alphabet. So you have to know your alphabet in order to put something in alphabetical order. Now let's look at this example. So here I have the word banana and I have the word apple. I'm going to put these words in alphabetical order. So first I look at the first letter for banana, which is B. Then I look at the first letter for apple, which is A. I'm going to find them in my alphabet. So this is where the letter B is, and this is where the letter A is. Now which letter comes first? Letter A comes first, right? So that means this is how this should be in alphabetical order. I would write the word apple before the word banana because A comes first in the alphabet and B comes after. So these are the two sets of words now in alphabetical order. It would read apple, banana, A, B. Now let's try together. Here I have the word watermelon. What's the first letter in the word watermelon? The first letter is W, letter W. Then I have the word mango. What's the first letter in the word mango? It is letter M. I am going to look at this alphabet up here. It's the second half of the alphabet that we're looking at here. So where is letter M and where is letter W? So here is letter W and here is letter M. Which letter comes first? M comes first, so that means mango should come first. And what letter comes second? W would be the next letter. So we're going to write watermelon second. So in alphabetical order, they would read mango, watermelon, right? Because M is before letter W in the alphabet. Next up, we have here pepper and salt. Pepper and salt. Now let's look at the first letter. Pepper starts with the letter P. Letter P says P. And salt starts with the letter S. Letter S says S. Now let's look at our alphabet that we have above there. We found letter P And we found letter S. Now, which letter comes first? Letter P comes before the letter S. Here we have pepper and salt. So do I need to switch them around? P comes before S. Do I need to switch them around? No, I do not. They would stay the same because they were already in alphabetical order. The P comes before the S, so they're in alphabetical order. We have pepper and then we have salt. Next up, let's look at this. Do you know what this animal is called? It's a zebra. So we have zebra, and zebra starts with the letter Z or letter Z, and then we have the word net. Net. Net starts with the letter N. Right, now let's look at our alphabet. Let's find letter Z right there, and letter N. Great job. Now, which letter comes first? Letter N comes first, and letter Z is at the end. So now let's put them in alphabetical order, because here we have the zebra coming before the net. So in alphabetical order, we would have net, then zebra, right? Because the N comes before the Z, so we have net first, then zebra. And then here we go, we have yam and rabbit. Yam and rabbit. Now what letter does yam start with? Start with the letter Y. Y. And what letter does rabbit start with? The letter R. Let's look at our alphabet. Let's find the letter Y and let's find the letter R. Great. Now, which letter comes first? The R comes first. And which one is second? Right, so in alphabetical order, we're going to write the word rabbit first because the R comes before the Y in the alphabet. So we write rabbit followed by yam. These are the two words now in alphabetical order. Rabbit, yam. And finally, let's look at these pair of words. We have water and we have violin. Now, what letter does water start with? Water begins with a letter W. Water begins with a letter W. And what letter does violin begin with? Violin begins with the letter V. Right, now let's look at our alphabet. Let's find letter W. There it is. And let's find letter V. There it is. Now, which letter comes first? The letter V comes before the letter W, so that means we should write violin before water in order to put them in alphabetical order. So here we go, we have violin followed by water. Now they are in alphabetical order. Great job. Thank you so much for helping me. Now it's your turn. You are going to write. Turn to page 19 in your text and complete the word work exercise. You would have to write this word work exercise in your exercise book, in your classroom book. You will head up and you will do this one, okay? Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye bye. I'm going to miss you guys. See you in tomorrow's lesson.